Hey everyone, welcome back to Tondas Linux. We have a packed week of news to cover, starting with a rather serious security flaw that has been hiding in plain sight for almost a decade. Let's get right into it. Our top story is CVE 2026-31431, fittingly named copy fail. This is a high-severity local privilege escalation vulnerability in the Linux kernel. And when I say it affects the kernel, I mean pretty much all of them from 2017 onward. The bug exists in the kernel's cryptographic subsystem. Specifically, it's a logic flaw in the AFLG socket interface. By chaining this with the splice system call, an unprivileged local user can perform a controlled write into the kernel's page cache of any readable file. What does that mean in plain English? It means an attacker with basic access to a machine can corrupt the memory representation of privileged binaries like the su command, without actually modifying the file on the disk. When executed, it grants them full root privileges. It's a deterministic exploit, meaning it works reliably without relying on race conditions, and the proof of concept is a tiny 700-byte Python script. Because of how container environments share the page cache with the host, this is particularly nasty for cloud and Kubernetes workloads, potentially allowing container breakouts. The good news, patches are already rolling out. Ubuntu, Debian, Red Hat, SUSE, Arch, and Alma Linux have all issued updates. If you manage Linux servers or even just run a desktop, you need to run your updates today. The Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, or CISA, has already added this to their known exploited vulnerabilities catalog. Moving on to some lighter news, Fedora Linux 44 is officially available for download. Powered by the Linux 6.19 kernel, this release brings GNOME 50 to the flagship Workstation Edition and KDE Plasma 6.6 to the KDE Spin. One of the more interesting technical changes is the inclusion of automatic DTB selection for ARM64 EFI systems. They've also enabled the NT-Sync kernel module, which should provide a nice performance bump for gaming through Wine. For package management, we're seeing support for the DNF5 backend on PackageKit, and interestingly support for the Nix package manager right out of the box. Fedora 44 is also the first release where all package builds are completely reproducible. If you're an existing user, the upgrade path via DNF system upgrade is open and ready. Speaking of kernels, Linux 7.0, which Linus Torvalds released a few weeks ago, is now making its way into distributions. Arch Linux's May ISO snapshot, version 2026.05.1, is the first major release to ship with it by default. Kernel 7.0 brings some solid improvements across the board. XFS gets new self-healing capabilities that can automatically handle some metadata corruption while the file system is still mounted. ext4 sees better concurrent direct I/O write performance, and NTFS3 gets delayed allocation. We're also seeing Rust support in the kernel move past the experimental label, entering a more formal stage for driver development. And for those running containers, IO-Uring now supports BPF filtering, giving administrators much finer control over isolation and security. Finally, let's talk about Ubuntu and AI. Canonical has announced their plans to integrate large language model tools into future Ubuntu releases, starting with Ubuntu 26.10 this October. Before you panic, Canonical's VP of Engineering, John Seeger, has clarified their approach. He stated, Ubuntu is not becoming an AI product, but it can become stronger with thoughtful AI integration. The implementation will be strictly opt-in. They are focusing on local inference by default, meaning your data isn't being shipped off to a cloud service unless a specific feature explicitly requires it. Crucially, these AI features will be packaged as snaps, acting as a functional kill switch. If you don't want them, you can simply remove them or choose not to install them during the initial setup wizard. Features mentioned include text-to-speech enhancements and camera focus tools. It's a measured approach, but it will be interesting to see how the community reacts as we get closer to the 26.10 release. That covers the major beats for this week. Make sure you patch your systems against that copy fail vulnerability. Let me know in the comments what you think about Fedora 44 or Canonical's opt-in approach to AI. As always, thanks for watching Tondas Linux, and I'll see you in the next one.